So our first reader of the second half is Matt Holmes. Matt is working on a collection of linked stories. His favorite writers include Flannery O'Connor and Virginia Woolf. They live at opposite ends of his bookshelf because they're not sure they would get along. Lovely welcome, Matt.
All right, my story is going to be called Coming Down Off Chekhov with Ashley C. and Mr. H. The high school stood on the crest of the hill, the first and the tallest obstacle of the sprawling suburbs. The students of Hillcrest High were the tallest and the first in all events. Their braces sparkled, their flossy blonde hair sparkled, and the limestone of the school's eastern wall sparkled in the morning light of first period. Ashley C. parked her pearlescent Mitsubishi Eclipse, and she began to cry for another day. She was crying for all of the teenage reasons. Because she was slightly tripping from last night's ecstasy, because her parents didn't understand her, because she was in love with her straight best friend, because of the working conditions of the Mitsubishi factory on the other side of the wall. It was unfair the way that things continued on so relentlessly. It's everything. That's why I'm late, she thought. She cried all the way up to the third floor, and she made herself cry some more, as she explained to Mr. H in the hallway that her life was complicated and unexplainable, but that she was really trying to show up on time. Well, come in when you feel ready, but sooner rather than later. Security will be making their first hallway sweep soon. Principal Hackman, a large man, sped forward down the hallway with the confident lean of his body against the Segway. His assistants caught up after a particularly difficult corner. Well, Janice, the corners will be easier if you wouldn't veer toward me when you spoke. When you face me, you increase the likelihood of colliding into me. Well, Larry, I can't tell if you're listening when you don't reply, so I find myself searching your face for any sort of visual signifier that I am being heard. Well, then I'll tell you. No, I did not watch The Bachelor last night. Nor did I think that an appropriate topic of conversation for administrative staff. All three carried assault rifles, but the assistants wore helmets. Everything okay here? The administrative trio rocked back and forth on their segways as they awaited an explanation. Mr. H and Ashley C. shrugged. Is it bullying? Principal Hackman led the informal investigation while the assistants scrambled to find the appropriate paperwork in the sidecar filing bins. Janice, tired of always being last, quietly set the assault rifle on the ground for a second. Report of bullying, Principal Hackman. Janice scrambled to rearm herself before Principal Hackman noticed the transgression. It had been so long since she had taken firearms in safe places, and nothing ever happened at Hillcrest High. Janet stepped off her Segway and squeezed Ashley C.'s shoulder. I was once bullied myself. She looked at Larry. You can talk to me, you know? Wait, are they allowed to touch us? Ashley C. looked to Mr. H for help. Probably not, Mr. H cringed. Larry quickly provided the paperwork for report of sexual misconduct, and the trio departed for their morning administrative brainstorm session. It's impossible to educate in this world gone mad with political correctness. Sometimes I miss being a dental hygienist. Janice's voice disappeared down the hallway. Mr. H left Ashley C in the hallway to pull on the sleeves of her hoodie for just 1 minute, which he calculated to be at least 5 for her. The school police squadron had more paperwork for students in hallways and German shepherds who were not even necessary to smell the marijuana on Kyle M. And none of this had anything to do with Chekhov and the day's lesson. The seagull, Mr. H tried to channel his inner teacher, Chekhov. Chekhov was on the AP test last year, so he definitely won't be on the AP test this year. My mom said that I shouldn't waste my time, and she even checked with my tutor. They almost never repeat authors for consecutive years. Chekhov won't be relevant for at least another 5 years. That's what she said. Thank you for checking on that, Jennifer J. We all appreciate the reconnaissance of your mother and your tutor. Mr. H was annoyed that she would do the best in this class, on the exam, and in life. I struggled with the violence. I stopped at the dead seagull. Gary, the only Gary of his generation, was pleased with his excuse. The other students saw Mr. H crumbling, and they became united in wearing him down. There would be no quiz today and a curve on the exam. Yeah, it was the same for me. I personally like seagulls so much I couldn't. Me too. Aside from chicken, I'm a vegetarian. Is it necessary to kill animals for art? I don't like plays. I hate live theater. Me too. I hate musicals. What I hate is sequels. When I saw that in the title, I was immediately put off. I actually just don't like reading. Am I allowed to say that? Mr. H stepped back from the classroom noise. He reached for the cell phone clipped to his right hip to check the time. Oh my God, he's lost it. Gary looked wide-eyed as Mr. H grabbed his gun. Oh no, I'm sorry, kids. I used to have this little cell phone clip I wore here. My students made fun of it, so I stopped. I forgot I had a gun there now. Most of us just carry the guns for the bonus. We get paid so little. Kyle M. woke from his stone morning slumber to laugh hysterically. Ashley C. opened the door, and behind her, the drug dogs jerked on their chains. They all had so much to worry about when the shot was fired outside. The police squadron rushed into action. Principal Hackman in the schoolyard looked stoically at his bloody, blasted foot. Sorry. Attention students, do not be alarmed by the gunshot. If you were alarmed, counseling services will be available in the auditorium during third, fourth, and fifth periods. But again, don't be alarmed. Ashley C. lingered. Second period was defined by a pulled fire alarm. The popularity of the counseling services left Mr. H without students for the rest of the day. You kids have so much to worry about, Mr. H consoled Ashley C. Ashley C. started folding the forms of the morning into origami cranes as the last sweetness of ecstasy floated away. Star Trek Next Generation is streaming. Whoopi Goldberg plays this bartender with funny hats, and Commander Riker is... Mr. H hesitated. Well, he's hot. I know. I bet you like it when he plays the saxophone on the holodeck. I like Deanna Troy. She's an empath. You kids know everything. Kids in the information age know everything, except what time to wake up. Ashley C. tried to laugh. I read that Seagull play last night. I can't say anything intelligent about it, but I loved it. They sat in front of the laptop and watched the future resolving and escaping in a continuous string of episodes until the last bell ended the day.